Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
On July 29, 2018, Brian Christopher Lawler was reportedly found hanging in a cell at the Hardman County Jail and brought to the Regional Medical Center, where he died as new details regarding the death of Brian Christopher are becoming known. The 46-year-old WWE World Tag Team Champion's death was ruled a suicide, but his father, Jerry the King Lawler, pro wrestling icon, says he has doubts of that account. Jerry Lawler said other inmates have contacted him about a fight his son reportedly had with another inmate the day of the injury. What exactly happened is becoming less clear. An affidavit filed last week is stating that inmate Danterious Jones committed identity fraud concerning Christopher's information. Jones made several phone calls from prison using Christopher's information before Christopher's death. He used Christopher's social security number, which is required for outgoing prison phone calls. One of the calls is believed to have taken place on July 28, the day before Christopher died. Jones is believed to have called the Lawler family and said Brian had been assaulted and had a concussion. The next day, when Christopher was being transported for medical care, Jones then called members of his own family. Jones is being charged with identity theft, but lawyers believe this is being done in an attempt to discredit potential future testimony from him. It is possible Jones would testify he was told to notify the Lawler family that Brian had been assaulted in prison the day before he died. If you're skeptical, you might think that there's a witness in the Hardman County Jail that someone is attempting to discredit, Lawler lawyer Ted Hampson said. That's one scenario that makes sense. The Lawler family has stated they doubt Christopher died via suicide. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is currently looking into the matter. Private investigators have also raised concerns regarding the evidence in the case. The lack of ligature marks around the neck has been raised by experts. In addition to attempting to contact the Lawler family, Jones did use Christopher's identity to make calls to his own family, which is likely what is leading to the charge. At some point, Brian clearly gave this guy his PIN number, Hampson continued. He, Lawler, told him to call his family and let Jerry know what was going on. Now an inmate died this week at the Hardman County Jail, the same facility where former WWE wrestler Brian Christopher Lawler was fatally injured in July. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is now conducting inquiries into the death of Lawler and the recent death of 59-year-old inmate Gregory Kent Sheeran, said TBI spokesman Josh Devine. Gregory Kent Sheeran, Hardman County Sheriff's Office. According to a TBI news release, the jail's staff found Sheeran unresponsive in his cell's bed at approximately 11 p.m. Wednesday. The staff performed CPR while awaiting medics, who transported Sheeran to a local hospital, where doctors pronounced him deceased, the statement says. The investigation remains active and ongoing. 6 months after his death, his father still does not know exactly what happened. He and his attorney are exploring the possibility of a civil lawsuit. I used to hate the word closure, but I guess what you want out of this is to find out what really happened, Jerry said. 6 months I think is enough time that we should be able to have heard something from the TBI, Jerry said. We've really heard nothing. Jerry has hired attorney Jeff Rosenblum to explore the possibility of a civil rights lawsuit against the Hardman County Jail. Rosenblum also plans to take a look at why the jail said security cameras, which would have shown what happened, were not working. We're not only not going to accept their word for it, we're going to go back and look at their server and have forensic technologists, experts look at deleted materials, Rosenblum said. Now, he and his attorney are turning up the heat. We served the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and we served the Hardman County Sheriff's Office very pervasive request for information and documentation, Rosenblum said. The Hardman County Chancery Court issued subpoenas Wednesday morning after Jerry Lawler was made the personal representative of Brian Lawler's estate. A preliminary death certificate calls Brian's death a suicide after jail personnel say he was found hanging by his shoestrings. Brian was put in an isolation cell after he got into a fight at the jail, leaving him with head injuries. Rosenblum said the jail did not give Brian medication he was taking to kick a drug habit. He said that medication is why he was arrested for a DUI and landed in jail. Brian was prescribed the medication that did not prevent him from driving, Rosenblum said. Jerry is asking the TBI to turn over its investigative files in the case and Hardman County Sheriff's Office to turn over investigative documents. He's also asking for radio communications between jailers, 9/11 recordings and surveillance video, as well as an inspection of the actual hard drive server to look at the digital video. Rosenblum says forensic technology experts already lined up will be able to tell if anything was erased. Now we are going to take the ball in our own hands and make them provide us with those documents, Rosenblum said. The TBI and the Hardman County Sheriff's Office have until February 26 to respond to these subpoenas. In a statement, the TBI said since it is an ongoing investigation, the agency is not speaking about any specifics. WMC5 called the Hardman County Sheriff, but so far, he has not called us back. Rosenblum said he expects the full autopsy on Brian Lawler to be completed in a couple of weeks.